Hello and welcome. Happy Tuesday. You are live with Sandra at It's All About Choices, where every Tuesday I have the pleasure of dishing out your weekly dose of nutrition news for your mind, your body, and your soul. I hope everybody is having a wonderful day so far, and I hope that your week is going well. And I thank you for tuning in live with me every week, those who join me, and I thank you for those who listen to the replay. And so I love for this to serve as a two-way form of communication. So definitely chime in, ask questions, post comments, aha moments, ouch moments, whatever strikes you. But we all are here to help each other out. And we are continuing. This is our final week of the Fall in Love with Your Heart series. And this series is really about how do we protect our heart? How do we keep it strong? How do we add years to our lives? Okay. And today we are talking specifically about cholesterol. And so if you're just tuning in, last week I talked about blood pressure. And before that, I talked about prediabetes. So definitely listen to those replays. Good, helpful information that will help you as well as your family. And so we're going to talk about cholesterol, heart health, and how weight impacts and how do we want to add years back to your life, all right? And so high cholesterol increases your risk of heart disease as well as heart attacks. Medications can help improve your cholesterol, but most of us would rather avoid medications, right? And make first lifestyle changes to improve your overall cholesterol levels. And it is possible. I've seen it numerous times, okay? And in this final week of my Fall in Love with Your Heart series, let's take a short break from the day-to-day madness, have some lunch, sit back so you can rejuvenate for the second half of your day. Today, I'm going to give 5 lifestyle tips, the top 5 lifestyle changes that will improve your cholesterol, heart health, and weight, okay? Hence, adding years back to your life, all right? And so for those who do not know who I am, I'm Sandra Goldtree. I am a registered dietitian. I am a certified personal trainer and your accountability partner. And my goal simply is to use different strategies, different techniques in order to help adults eat healthier, live healthier, and to integrate these habits into their everyday life to where it just becomes natural and second nature. That is the goal, okay? That is the overall goal, to create habits that last a lifestyle, all right? Lifetime, rather, not a lifestyle. And so we're talking about breaking food strongholds, and we're also talking about creating a lifestyle of change. And so as you are tuning in, please say who you are, say hello to me, let me know where you're tuning in from, and we are going to jump into today's journey. And so my poll question, I love to poll my audience every time we get started. And so those who are tuning in, we are talking about cholesterol. So is this a relatable topic? Okay. Mention if you have high cholesterol. Maybe you've already been diagnosed with high cholesterol. So your levels your levels are high, but not yet diagnosed. So maybe your cholesterol numbers are kind of starting to creep up above that normal range. Or maybe they are elevated, okay? So they're elevated, so your labs are trending up, your doctor is recommending you lose weight, change eating habits, probably getting ready to put on some medications, but maybe that's where you are. So maybe it's elevated, or are you currently on medication? So that means you have typically been diagnosed already, but you want to reduce it, or you want to get off of the meds. It is possible. I have seen it happen. I've had many clients who have both reduced their meds significantly and completely gotten off of them. So it is possible. All right. As long as you're breathing, anything is possible. And so let's segue for a little bit. I want to, again, take a poll. We are about 2 months into the new year. How are you doing? Have you been consistent with sticking to those goals? Hopefully they're goals rather than New Year's resolutions. Are you losing the weight that you want to lose, or are you happy with the process of how you are losing weight if you are losing weight? So we want to make sure that you are setting goals and lifestyle changes that are realistic and that you can actually handle when the storms of life come in. And so the good news is I have this 5-day meal plan that you can access at no charge. This plan is designed to help you to lose weight, to feel your best, and to increase your energy, and also really to save time in the grocery store, save time cooking. You're going to have a grocery list as well as a meal prep guide to help you, because for many, meal planning is daunting. So we want to make sure that you kind of have some tools to let you know that it is not as daunting as it seems. All right. So stay with me to the end. I'm going to provide more details on that. But if you are not able to stay, I'm going to give you the link right here. You may go to actionchoices.com/jumpstart. So actionchoices.com/jumpstart, and that will give you all the information that you need. It's a very comprehensive guidebook that will guide you. And then you'll also have access to my private Facebook group where you can get support as well. So, okay, so not your typical meal plan that you're downloading. All right, so let's talk about the top 5 changes or lifestyle changes that you can make to improve your cholesterol, heart health, as well as weight. And we want to add years to your life. So lifestyle change number 1. Dun, 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 dun. Eat heart healthy foods. Sounds easy, right? So eat heart healthy foods. So a few changes that you can make to improve your cholesterol levels. You want to reduce your saturated fats, okay? And so I call this the LDL. So you have the LDL, lousy, and you also have triglycerides. So you basically want to eat leaner cuts of meat. You want to avoid whole, like dairy products on a regular basis. So you want to make sure that you are decreasing that and lowering those levels, okay? And working with a dietitian will help you to be able to do that. You want to eliminate trans fat. Another way for translating what trans fat is, it's partially hydrogenated vegetable oil. So if you see that anywhere on the ingredient list, then it has some small amount in there. However, just because something says it's trans fat free, or you see 0 on the label, if it's 0.5 or less grams, then technically they can say it is trans fat free. So you want to watch just to kind of make sure. You want to eat rich in omega-3 fatty acids, okay? Fatty acid, omega-3 doesn't necessarily lower your LDLs, but it will help with regulating blood pressure and will help with lowering your triglycerides. And so think of, you want to do your marine sources. Those are going to be your better sources, like your wild-caught salmon, mackerel, herring, things like that. But you also have some plant-based sources from like nuts, like walnuts and flax seeds. But again, the marine sources are going to be your better absorbed by your body. But again, you incorporate everything into an overall healthy eating pattern. So you do include those healthy, heart-healthy nuts and seeds, okay? You want to increase your soluble fiber, okay? So this can reduce the absorption of cholesterol into your bloodstream. So soluble fiber is found in foods like oatmeal and kidney beans and Brussels sprouts, apples and pears and things like that. So again, eating a variety of foods. A lot of times people just eat oatmeal. It helps, but that's not the only food to eat to help lower your blood pressure, to help lower your cholesterol level. So make sure that you have another one is Cheerios. So make sure that we have a variety of starches, a variety of foods within the 5 food groups, and you cannot go wrong when you eat a variety of foods, okay? Adding whey protein. So whey protein is found in lower fat dairy products. It accounts for it has many health benefits that attribute to dairy. And so this is another reason why almond milk kind of falls short and is not considered a dairy substitute, because it doesn't have a lot of those properties that naturally come with dairy. So again, it's about moderation. If there's intolerances there that's medically diagnosed, not necessarily self-diagnosed, there are ways to work around that and still get your dairy in. Trust me. All right, so the top 5 lifestyle changes to improve your cholesterol as heart health as well as your lifestyle. So let's talk about change number 2. Okay, and this is exercise on most days of the week and just overall increase your physical activity. So exercise can improve your cholesterol. Moderate exercise and activity can help raise your happy cholesterol. I call it your HDL, and that's your good cholesterol. And so with your doctor, make sure that it's okay. Work up to at least 30 minutes. 5 days a week, or if you're doing some vigorous activity, 20 minutes a day, 3 days a week. That's kind of the bare minimum. but you want to keep it moving, but you want to make sure it's effective and it's something that you enjoy. So adding physical activity, you can even do it in 10-minute bouts. So a lot of times people just don't want to do it for 20, 30 minutes or 45 minutes. Doing it in 10-minute bouts also helps, and it adds up over time. So definitely make sure that you prioritize it. Okay. Prioritize it, schedule it like a meeting. Okay. So take a brisk walk daily. I recommend aiming for a 15-minute mile. So time how long it takes you to walk a mile. See where it is, and that will kind of give you an idea of how to step up the pace. Okay. Riding your bike to work or riding your bike in general, playing your favorite sports, do something that's going to increase or raise your heart rate to where you are in that exercising fat burning mode. Okay. Stay motivated, stay accountable, consider finding you an exercise buddy, group classes. Those are all wonderful ways to stay in the game with exercise, especially if it's not something that you enjoy doing, and we have to kind of build it up, build up that favorite to the way you enjoy doing it. Because once you start feeling better, once you start seeing results, then you will want to have more of it. Number 3. So let's talk about number 3. Actually, let's see here. Let's back up a little bit. Let's talk about which one of these do you feel like you need to add? Okay, so where do you feel like you need to get more support? So let's start with these 2. Do you need to get some more support with adding heart-healthy foods? Okay, this is definitely where a dietitian will help you, because you don't want to restrict. So a lot of times people make the mistake, especially when I'm talking to my new clients, they make the mistake of cutting out so many things to where the body is just really working harder to try to keep you going because it doesn't have the nutrients that it needs. We want to make sure that you're not cutting. Exercise, you need to exercise more effectively, or maybe it's a combination of both, okay? And most support in improving cholesterol levels, losing weight, and overall health, okay? And just feeling better, okay? Feeling better. And so number 3, quit smoking if you smoke, okay? And so quitting smoking improves your HDL, or your good cholesterol levels. Okay. So benefits occur very quickly. I mean, it's pretty impactful. So listen to this, check out these statistics. Within 20 minutes of quitting, your blood pressure, your heart rate recovers from the cigarette-induced spike. Okay. Within 3 months of quitting, your blood circulation and your lung functions begin to improve. And then within a year of quitting, your risk of heart disease is cut in half of that of a smoker. So to me, those are some pretty powerful and impactful statistics. So we know it's an addiction. It takes time. Again, get help for that. Okay. They have support and support groups to help you to get through that, because you don't, and probably actually you really want to have a team, because you want to have the team that's going to help you from that emotional, mental standpoint. And then typically when people stop smoking, they eat more, so they gain weight. So that's where the dietitian comes in. And of course, you have your doctor. So it's really a team to help really work through this. And sometimes people need mental health, as far as a psychologist, in order to kind of help work through some of those lifestyle issues that may be triggering or making it very difficult to kick the habit of smoking. So it's a team. All right. And so let's segue for a minute. I definitely want to give you more details on the 5-day meal plan, especially if you're somebody who has been on every diet under the sun, and it's like a vicious cycle. You lose, you gain. And then I've talked to many clients where they just stop losing. Their body just stopped responding to even a diet. Okay. So we want to make sure that it's for the long haul and not something that you're going to do short term. So if you're struggling with losing weight, you're confused about what to eat, that's what's best for you and your body, I've got you covered. All right. So definitely download my 5-day meal plan. And it's designed to give you more energy, to give you and actually so you can see how different foods pair, how you can try different flavors that you maybe never even thought about, and wake up feeling refreshed. Okay. That coupled with, of course, getting adequate sleep. But you will begin that process of gaining energy, so you're not feeling so exhausted at the end of the day to where you don't want to do anything. All right. So you can go to actionchoices.com/jumpstart. And this is where you can grab the plan and just begin to feel confident in some of the choices that you're making. Any questions or comments, don't hesitate to post. Okay. Number 4. So the 4th lifestyle change that can really help to transform your life, improve your cholesterol levels and health, and lose weight. So lose weight is what it is. And so carrying even a few extra pounds can contribute to higher cholesterol levels. Small changes add up. So surprisingly, a difference of losing even only 5%, even 3 to 5% is what is really out there. 3 to 5% of your current body weight will really make a huge difference in improving your heart health. Okay. So if you drink sugary beverages, switch to water. Juice in moderation. Know what that means. Snack on whole foods such as popcorn, pretzels. Again, you got to keep track though of how much you're eating. If you crave something sweet, you got frozen sherbet. You have, oh, I love frozen fruit like mangoes and cherries and grapes. They freeze very well. And then, and also don't forget dark chocolate. So we did talk about dark chocolate. So that's another one that I did talk about this month, the dark chocolate, pre-diabetes, and blood pressure. So moderation though, moderation. So remember, balance and adequate. You want to limit that dark chocolate to about an ounce to an ounce and a half. And you want to promote healthy weight loss. 1 to 2 pounds is healthy weight loss. I usually say realistically 1 to 1.5. Okay. And you will see marked improvements in blood pressure, cholesterol, blood sugar control, cravings, especially. Okay. All righty. So surprised. Are you surprised? Okay. To hear how fast your heart health improves when someone stops smoking. And I'll just recap if you just tuned in. Within 20 minutes of quitting, your blood pressure and heart rate begins to recover from the cigarette-induced spike. Within 3 months of quitting, your blood circulation and lung function begins to improve. And within a year, your risk of heart disease is cut down in half. Very powerful. Very powerful. Okay. And so number 5, let's go down to number 5, as far as lifestyle changes that you can make to improve cholesterol, heart health, and your weight. So drink in moderation. All right. So I will put this disclaimer out there. Only if you drink alcohol. Do not start drinking alcohol if you don't already do it. So this is in moderation and understanding what moderation means. So moderate alcohol or moderate use of alcohol has been linked to higher levels of your good cholesterol levels. And then, but the benefits aren't strong enough to recommend having alcohol if you don't already drink. Okay. So I'll put that out there again. But if you drink, do that in moderation. If you don't drink, don't start. And so healthy adults, that means 1 drink a day for a woman is considered healthy and it can fit into a weight loss plan. If you're a man, that means 2 drinks a day. Okay. All that just has to do with the enzymes in our body that breaks down alcohol. That is what's considered moderation. And you're not able to queue it up for the weekend. So if you don't drink during the week, but maybe you save it for the weekend, you should not have 10 drinks if you're a man or 5 drinks on Saturday if you're a woman. So it's like vacation. If you don't use it, you lose it, that type deal. Okay. And so that's kind of how we define what a drink is. And so as far as moderation, so that can come in the form of 4 ounces of wine, especially if the percentage is on the higher end, 1 ounce of liquor, 12-ounce beer. And so that's kind of how you can gauge where you're at in that process. Okay. But too much alcohol can lead to some serious health problems, including blood pressure, high blood pressure, heart failure, and stroke. So moderation, but again, don't start if you don't already do it. Okay. It does have some benefits, heart health benefits, if it's done in moderation. Okay. All righty. Let's see here. So let's talk about where are you? If you are a drinker, where do you fall? Okay. Maybe not that much, where it's really like less than 1 drink a week. So you just really do it occasionally, or maybe you're just right there, that 1 drink average, or, maybe one or 2 drinks, over a period of time. And then, or you're working on it. Maybe you need to work on it. And remember, you have some cultures where wine is a staple. That's part of their culture. That's part of their eating. And so having 4 ounces of wine with dinner every night, if that's what you need, or that's part of your culture, you can do that. But again, making sure everything else is in line. Okay. And so if you're working on it, no judgment zone. Okay. There was a time I had to work on it too. So the takeaway message, what is the big takeaway message here? So lifestyle changes aren't enough to lower cholesterol levels sometimes. So sometimes healthier lifestyle changes are not enough, but know that you need to do your due diligence and you need to do the lifestyle changes. Sometimes medications are in order. Sometimes they are. That's the situation that happened to me with my blood pressure, but you still need to do your due diligence. You still need to make sure that you're living a healthy lifestyle so you're not on 5 and 6 plus different medications, okay? Have your healthcare team. You have your doctor, have a dietitian, have a trainer, have a mental health counselor, psychologist, support. Okay. For some reason, we feel like we have to do everything on our own. So let the experts do their thing, invest in yourself time wise, invest in yourself monetarily. Okay. We only have one life, we only have one chance at this thing. Make it the best. Okay. Sometimes, though, genetics does get in the way, okay? But that does not change that we still need to make the lifestyle changes. So because you want it managed, okay? You don't want to still live a life that's just not fun and you're full of meds and you're always in pain. So we want to make sure that we're still doing our due diligence, okay? All right. And so lifestyle changes can help you to keep your medications to a low dose. Okay. So always remember that. So I'm a true testament of that. And so I wanted to avoid medications at all costs. And so, and that is where we are. But it was very stressful for me trying to avoid the meds. And I was not lowering my blood pressure. I was raising my blood pressure, but mine was due to genetics. And so I still incorporate lifestyle and, the 80-20 rule. And then along with my low dose of medication in order to help my body, because sometimes you don't want your body overworking itself to try to manage something. And so, so that's my spiel there. And so definitely I want to remind everybody about downloading 5-day meal plan. And so this is actually a great first step to eating in a heart healthy manner and to improve your heart health. And so you're going to see a variety of flavors crossing the 5 food groups, and then you'll get an idea of what that looks like, and that is not as daunting as it may sound. Okay. And it's designed to help you make shopping easier and make planning and prepping easier. So if you're somebody who feels like planning and prepping is daunting, this will kind of give you a step-by-step on how you're not doing everything all at one time. Okay. So any questions or comments, don't hesitate to reach out to me. Update on the thread. I monitor it. I love comments and questions because, again, it's all about ironing, sharpening iron. So we all are here to help each other out, okay? And so this concludes what I have for this week of your nutrition news for your mind and your body and your soul. And I am Sandra, your RDN. Thank you for tuning in. We are all about creating a lifestyle of self-care and to break those food strongholds. And so next week, I'm going to do an up close and personal segment where you will have the opportunity to hear from real people as they share their personal journey, their struggles, and how they overcame them. Okay. And so I'm featuring Andrea Collins next week, and her story is titled How Andrea Finally Boosted Energy Levels, Jumpstarted Her Weight Loss of 13 pounds while working a stressful job and traveling despite feeling sluggish throughout the day and struggling with weight loss plateau for over a year. Okay. So, and she was working out. So she was actually going to Orange Theory. So, and that's a very, very popular. So I have many clients who either have trainers or they are doing a well-known proven exercise workout in a routine, but they're still not getting the results. And so it's not the trainer's fault. It's not, maybe the exercise routine that you're doing, but we need to make sure the eating is on point. So she can share your story and you can hear more from her. And so bye for now. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you next week. All right.